Section 6.2, Addition and Subtraction of Rational Expressions. When you are adding rational expressions, you must have like denominators. When you have like denominators, you add the numerators 15y plus 5 and keep it over the same common denominator, 3y plus 1. Now notice in our numerator, both terms have a common factor of 5. So we need to factor that out. So in our numerator, we are going to factor out a 5, leaving the factors of 3y plus 1 in parentheses, all over the denominator of 3y plus 1. We can reduce this fraction. 3y plus 1 divided by 3y plus 1 is 1, leaving us with 5 times 1, which is just 5. Another example, this time with subtraction. Again, notice we have a common denominator, so we can go ahead and subtract the numerator, but make sure you subtract every term that follows. And this will give us 7x plus 2 minus 8x minus 3, all over the common denominator of x plus 9. Now we need to collect like terms in the numerator. We have a 7x minus 8x, which is negative 1x. And we have a positive 2 minus 3, which gives us negative 1, all over the common denominator of x plus 9. Here we have two rational expressions that do not have common denominators. These are both different. We must first change each fraction to have a common denominator. To do that, we multiply by the missing denominator. In our first fraction, our denominator is y minus 2. We must multiply that by y minus 3, the denominator of the second fraction. If we multiply the denominator by y minus 3, we must also multiply our numerator by y minus 3. And that gives us 4y minus 12 all over y minus 2 times y minus 3. Do not multiply out your denominators. Plus, now in our second fraction, we have a denominator of y minus 3, but we don't have the y minus 2, so we must multiply the denominator by y minus 2 and the numerator by y minus 2. Multiply that numerator out, and that gives us y squared minus 2y all over y minus 2 times y minus 3. Now we have two fractions with the same denominator. We can go ahead and add the numerators. Putting it in descending order, we would have y squared. 4y minus 2y is 2y minus 12, all over y squared, all over y minus 2 times y minus 3. Since our numerator cannot be factored, this is our final answer. In this example, again, we do not have common denominators, and in order to find the common denominator, we must factor the n squared plus n minus 42. Factors of n squared are n and n. Factors of negative 42 that when you add them give you a positive 1 for the middle term would be a positive 7, and a negative 6. So that is now our new denominator. Notice the first fraction has n minus 6. So we must now multiply by n plus 7, both the denominator and the numerator. Then we have a common denominator. So multiply out our numerator gives us 2n plus 14 all over n minus 6 times n plus 7 plus n minus 4 all over n minus 6 plus times n plus 7. Now we can add our numerator. 2n plus 1n is 3n, and 14 minus 4 is plus 10, all over the common denominator of n minus 6 times n plus 7. Since our numerator again cannot be factored, this is our final answer.